Hey kids, I'm Lawson, and I'm here to tell you today that kind is cool.
Oh, Lawson.
Not kind to interrupt Mom, and definitely not cool.
Okay.
Anyhow, I've got this super awesome story today I heard from this kid Owen in my cousin's scout troop. Now, Owen cannot believe it when he finds out a babysitter is coming while Mom goes out that evening. He says, I'm 11. I don't need a sitter. But his mom says she's gonna be out really late. And she asks, can you really take care of your sister all evening? Without biting. And Owen has to admit that could be a problem. And Mom tells them, Miss Loudon will be here at 6. And Owen complains, she smells weird. Like Brussels sprouts. Plus he remembers, she laughs really loud. Like a hyena. When Miss Loudon arrives, Owen says, I'm too old for a sitter, you're just here for a lease. And Miss Loudon agrees. Of course, Owen. For dinner, Miss Loudon fixes tuna broccoli casserole with chocolate liver sauce. He mumbles, she is a terrible cook. After dinner, Miss Loudon suggests, let's make oatmeal raisin cookies. But Owen is like, I don't think so. And then Miss Loudon offers to read aloud her favorite book, Little House on the Prairie. And Owen shakes his head, no thanks. And then he stalks out. Owen decides he's gonna hide in his room for the rest of the night. But then, he can hear her reading all the voices to Elise. And then he realizes she's just trying to be nice. So Owen heads back downstairs and he says, I thought you could use this while you read. And then he suggests that maybe they could make oatmeal cookies, but with chocolate chips. And they add M&Ms too, plus gummy bears and sprinkles and fruity pebbles. So kids, always remember that a weird laugh is better than no laugh. And don't forget that kindness is showing others they are valuable by how you treat them. Hey Mom, you want a cookie?
Oh, that's really nice, Lawson. But I think you should take a look at your shirt.
Your kind is cool, so what?
Look again, bud.
Kid is cool. Oh, thanks. Okay, all right. I gotta go find a Sharpie real quick. I'll be right back. See you guys next time. Bye. Ow.
Hey boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of Virtual Kids Worship. It is our third week here in the month of February, and if you remember, this month we're learning about kindness, and kindness is showing others how valuable they are by how you treat them. So today we're going to be diving into a story from Matthew chapter 5. And this comes from the Sermon on the Mount. It's one of those big messages that Jesus gave while he was here on earth. And in that, he says this: if a soldier demands that you carry his gear for a mile, carry it 2 miles. Now, for you and me, maybe we hear this and we don't pay a lot of attention to that. We don't even understand exactly what's going on. But if you remember, when Jesus was here on earth, he lived in Israel. And Israel was occupied by Rome. And Rome was in charge. And because Rome was in charge, a Roman soldier could go to a Jewish person and have them carry their backpack, their gear, for up to a mile. Well, Jesus says, you know what? Go further. If you ever heard go the extra mile, this is kind of what we're talking about. Jesus says, no, don't just carry it 1 mile, carry it 2. Jesus reminds his followers to go above and beyond and how they respond to others. Let's check out our story from today and see what else we can learn.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. the epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 41.
Jesus was rocking the world. Everywhere He traveled, He told about the good news of God's kingdom. He called people to turn away from the wrong things they had done, and He healed sick people. Great crowds began to follow Jesus. So one day, He went up on a mountainside and sat down to share with them how God wants us to live.
Blessed are those who are humble. They will be given the earth.
God created us. He knows that we were designed to find joy and be at peace when we follow His ways, when we see and treat others the way God does. So, right in the middle of what's often called the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said this.
Suppose someone forces you to go 1 mile. Go 2 miles with them.
Okay, what? To our ears, this probably sounds like a word problem, or maybe like our PE teacher telling us to go run laps. But the people listening to Jesus knew exactly what He meant. They all lived under the rule of the Caesar in Rome. The Romans had conquered many, many territories. Judea had become a little backwater province of the Roman Empire. And Roman soldiers were sent to keep order. Jesus and all the people He taught lived under Roman rule, and they had to obey the law of Rome, including this one.
I decree that any Roman soldier may force a Jew to carry his pack for precisely 1 mile.
If you're thinking, what's the big deal? Think again. Being a Roman soldier was not for wimps. Sometimes the packs they carried weighed as much as 100 pounds. It took real grit and stamina to march for miles carrying that much gear. So it wasn't unusual for a soldier to call on some random person along the road to haul their pack for 1 mile, or about 1,000 steps. And if that person says no, well, it was considered an act of rebellion against the empire. Now, imagine you're an everyday, ordinary, average Joe, or Joseph. You're hiking along the road, maybe you're on your way to Jerusalem, when you look up, and in the distance you see a Roman soldier heading your way. I don't know about you, but I think I'd turn right around and head back the other way. Or get off the road and head into a grove of olive trees. Or maybe just avoid eye contact at all costs. But maybe none of that works. The soldier stops, calls you out, and you have no choice but to look up. The soldier orders you to take his heavy pack and haul it along for a whole mile. You can't fight the empire. So, you pick up the pack. And it's forward march. You're probably counting your steps the whole way. 58, 59, just waiting until you can drop that pack. 681, 682, holding out until you can get away from this soldier that sees you as scum. 998, 999, 1,000. That's it. You're free. Roman law says that soldier can't make you go more than 1 mile. So you can toss that pack like it's hot and run on home. Except, Jesus says something else.
Suppose someone forces you to go 1 mile. Go 2 miles with them.
You had to carry that pack the first mile. You didn't have a choice. But now you get to choose. And if you choose to take that pack another mile, it says a lot. It says, I matter. I'm valuable just like you, and I can make my own choices. But it also says you matter. This is a really heavy load you have to carry. And I'm gonna help you not because I have to, but because I choose to. Go the extra mile doesn't just mean go big or go home. Going the extra mile means that you make a choice to help someone, to be kind. You choose an action that says, I'm doing this for you because I want to, not because I have to. And I'm doing this because you are made in the image of God. And that makes you valuable to Him and to me. So, you may not live in an empire, but you can still go the extra mile.
Hey, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed our story for this week, our third week, learning about what the Bible has to say about kindness. Our bottom line for today is this: be kinder than you have to be. Check that out again. Be kinder than you have to be. You know, often we do kindness kind of out of, I have to. It's an obligation. We don't want to, but there we are just doing it because. And that's not really the reason that we should be kind. We should want to go above and beyond, and we shouldn't just want to do the bare minimum with these things. I mean, what would it look like if we went the extra mile in showing kindness to other people? What would it look like if we helped them see kindness in a big, awesome, extravagant way? How might the world look a little bit different? How might our relationships with our parents, our brothers and sisters, our friends at school or at church or karate or football or gymnastics look like? It would look completely different if we tried to go the extra mile in being kind. What if we were kinder than we have to be? You know, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus also had this to say. He encouraged his followers to love their enemies. He says, man, it's easy to love people that are nice to you and who are your friends, but he says, no, I want you to love your enemies, and here is why. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 47, he says, if you are kind only to your friends, how are you different than anyone else? Even pagans do that. But you are to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. I want to go back there. He says, even the pagans do that. What's a pagan? An unbeliever. A person who doesn't believe in God or Jesus, specifically Jesus. Listen to how they respond, how they act. He says, look, even unbelievers are nice to their friends. But you want to go the extra mile? You want to really show God's kindness to people? Be kind to the people you don't like. Or be kind to the people who don't like you. Love your enemies. We need to be kinder than we have to be. Boys and girls, that's a big task in front of us, but what if we loved big? What if we showed kindness big? We might just show people God's kindness in us, and we reflect that out to the people around us that we come in contact with at all the places we go every day. I want to look at our memory verse before we say goodbye for this week. If you'll check it out, I really appreciate that. And you should be. I encourage you to be studying this, to be learning this. It's important that we store up God's word in our heart. And this is from the book of Colossians and should be right here on your screen. Read it with me. You are God's chosen people. You are holy and dearly loved. So put on tender mercy and kindness as if they were your clothes. Don't be proud. Be gentle and patient. That's from Colossians 3:12. Again, I encourage you to study that, boys and girls, and check it out. I want to remind you that you can check out our virtual life group. That happens on Sunday afternoons. If you want to be a part of that, shoot me an email. Well, Mom or Dad, you shoot me an email, and we'll get you connected with that. You can spend a little bit of extra time with your friends over a Zoom meeting and dig into what the Bible has to say. You know, we write those lessons just for being virtual. So it is geared just for you. And so I want to remind you of that. And remember, we haven't talked about this, but coming up in March, we're going to be having registration open for Wind Shape Camps, which are going to happen here in July. Well, We're hopeful it's going to happen here. You can check out our website really soon for some details on that. I just wanted to put that out there for you, that's coming this summer, so you can start making some plans and thinking about if you want to be a part of that. Again, so glad that you guys could join us for Virtual Kids Worship this week. We're back next week with one more episode about kindness and how we show God's kindness to other people. Have a great week. How can you be kinder than you have to be? God bless you guys.